So, one of my most favorite topic comments and absurd type of, you know, how would you call it? Implications, I guess, is the best word to use. Is that I'm a fake fan, that I only play on Xbox, and I don't like anything else, right? That I don't have any PlayStation consoles or that I don't play on them. And I always usually just tell people, hey, listen, if you want to believe that, I can't change your mind. But again, big shout outs to all the fans that I have and friends, really, that treat me like family also, that show me the respect and the love. And because of them is why I decided, well, let me just show my collection because they want to see it, because they're interested, and they give me enough respect that I can do that. So I'm going to do that here today with this video. So if you haven't figured out, I'm going to show my PlayStation games of each respected console that I own. Hey, how are you, everyone? What's up? It's me, Hebot, Powerful Gamer, one more time trying to bring you a little quick video and roundup of my collections that I have in my possession. And this episode I know is going to get a lot of hate, a lot of love, a lot of trolling, because a lot of people don't want to be proven wrong. And I told them many times, I've run into a lot of people that act very clownish and foolish and silly, and that like to troll to tell me, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a fraud. I don't really play on PlayStation. And I've said from a very long time ago when I started doing YouTube, and people that have been around me, that I have all PlayStation consoles since the PlayStation 2, is I never really liked PS1 the way that others did. I was more of a Saturn fan, even though I did own it at one point, got rid of it. Because of the fact that Sega did a lot of games for each of those consoles that you could not play anywhere else. And those games were exclusive. So, as a Sega fan and as a gamer, I followed where the games are as well. And if that means having to play on all platforms, that's my fucking problem, I guess. And that's my burden or my thorn in my back, because, I just can't help it. So let's get it started. First and foremost, just to show you guys, here's the PlayStation 1 controller right there. Here I have the metallic slim version. I did have all three iterations of the PS one. I mean two. I had the original one that was black with blue. Then I got the one that followed after that, and then the slim one. And here's the slim one. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, I got two of these. Because one of these I have to play regularly the Americanized versions of games, and the other one I had actually modded to play some foreign region games, like the Masters of the Universe game, like Sega Ages, that a lot of them never came here, like Altered Beast, that they made for PS2 in Europe and Japan only. So I'll start with my PlayStation 2 collection. And again, I don't have a big collection. This is black because I don't have the covers. But I have Enter the Matrix here. And I have also Dynasty Warriors, the PS1 version, which is to also prove that I did have PlayStation 1. But I only kept Dynasty Warriors. This is the one that started the entry and introduced me to that style, which was kind of like a hack and slash beat 'em up. As you see in the screen here, we'll focus. This is the House of the Dead 4, and we'll get to that later in the video, obviously. My next game I have on PlayStation 2 rather, is the Red Star. Now, the Red Star is an awesome top-down shooter that was supposed to come out for the OG Xbox because they had a demo on one of the discs, but it didn't. And I thought it was supposed to come out in Europe, and I don't think it ever did. And if it did, please someone correct me if I'm wrong. And here it is. Here's some pictures of the back. Awesome game in the same vein as Cannon Spike that was on Dreamcast. Now, like I said before, a lot of games that were exclusives that should have came in other platforms and didn't. Here's a perfect example. Route 66, or The King of Route 66, which was a sequel to, you guessed it, 18 Wheeler. Only came out in PS2, and it is what it is. Awesome. A lot better than the first one, but also had his own unique style. So Route 66. Moving on, I have here Shinobi. Another exclusive, like they did with DS, kind of with the same design in the mass as you can see here. I love this cover. This cover is really, for me, it's really beautiful. I love Ninjas by Sega. The game was pretty good. You can tell that it was one of the first entries from Sega on the PS2, but still impressive enough that it hold pretty well. Shinobi. Then that was followed a couple years later by the sequel that was titled Nightshade, which, guess what, people? It had a girl protagonist. Look at that. For people who try to say that there was never games with girls, there should be more inclusion. And I'm not trying to be a troll or an ass about that. I just think it's an asinine statement. Okay? Nightshade. Beautiful ninja female. Awesome sequel. A lot easier than the first one, but it's amazing nonetheless. Which I felt was the beginning pavements and ideas that Sega had with the whole idea and concept of Bayonetta. Because as you guys may or may not know, Bayonetta was a Sega creation, even though the game was developed by Platinum Games. Here we have one of my grails, and the reason why I say it's one of my grails is I love this game. It's short, but it's sweet, and it's effective. And it's one of my favorite animes out there next to Berserk, if not my second most favorite next to Fist of the North Star, which is Gungrave, made by Sega, published by Sega. This game was really, really dope. Really, really stylized. Not too long. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't too long. Look at that artwork. Amazing. But it was fun. It was fun. Really dope game. And it was, I guess, did well enough that it granted a sequel. And I did like this sequel. I'm not gonna lie. Overdose. It was longer. It still kept the formula of the first game, the same gameplay style, and I thought it was super dope. I really did. I'm kind of really interested in getting the one for VR, even though I don't have VR, because I'm hoping that they give you an option where you could play it without the VR. Because I noticed that they put the game where you can have a third-person view and a first-person. So if they let you play it even with just with the controller, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be more with the VR and it'll look better, I will definitely pick it up just for the sake of trying it out, because I am a Gungrave fan. Next, we have a hidden gem that a lot of people didn't play. The original game that started assistance with a little kid, like they did now with God of War and games like Amy and games like Last of Us, was Blood Will Tell from Sega. Very original game, awesome game. I don't know if it's based off a manga or anime. It might have been. It's an incredible game that's super underrated. You get the help of this little girl right here by the name of Dororo. And even though it was done almost 20 years ago, they implemented the inclusion of the controls for the assistants the best way I've ever seen in any game, even till this day. It worked well, and it was very effective, and it felt like you had control of both characters when you needed to, instead of it just being an added tactical thing. Blood Will Tell. Highly underrated, probably super expensive at this point, but if you can get your hands on it cheap, I recommend it. Probably my favorite and probably my most respected underground exclusive on PlayStation. This game is fucking dope, and I don't know how much I can stress that. It is amazing. I love the character design. I love the world. It kind of has the feel of the upcoming Ghost of Tsushima, but this plays more like a Devil May Cry or a Bayonetta, obviously with the fixed cameras because it was back then. But the graphics and the environments looked even impressive then. And this was published by Sony. The sequel wasn't as beautiful, but I think it's because it was rushed and it didn't feel as polished, but it definitely was up there. Then we have Astro Boy, and again, this is going to become an ongoing theme, a Sega game. Not only do I like this Astro Boy, I love the one they did for the DS. And now I'm trying to get back the one that came out for the Wii. Astro Boy is a lot of fun, beautiful fun time, little game that a lot of people probably didn't even play, and it was actually worth getting. You could probably get this game, like my main man Sega man says, on the cheap. Next, I have Sega Classics Collection. This is actually a really dope collection because what it did was, it for the first time, I believe, it not only brought old classic games, as you see here, like Outrun or like Space Harrier, as you see there, right? Or even Golden Axe. It brought them back, but it brought them back actually with a new coat of paint remastered. Like a real remaster. And this is Alien Syndrome with the top down view as well, right here. And other games like Fantasy Zone. They actually implemented good new graphics, but the gameplay felt a little bit weird because they were transitioning to 3D, and I think that interpretation of the gameplay just didn't transition right in the 3D realm. But nonetheless, one of my favorite collections. I hold this as a grail because I love Sega games, and I love that they tried things like that back then. They don't do it anymore. Now, my son just pointed this out, and I didn't realize it until he told me, and he was absolutely right. So big shout outs to my son Zachary. But I guess Marvel didn't just give PlayStation that exclusivity love like they did with Spider-Man just now. They also did it with this game right here, which was Ghost Rider by 2K Games published and Marvel. And this was supposed to come out, I believe, for the Xbox OG in Europe, and never did. I think it was canceled. And the game is pretty dope because it plays like God of War, the gameplay style, but obviously in the Ghost Rider universe, and you wield Ghost Rider. A lot of people probably never even played it, so big shout outs to my main man Ghost Rider 730 as well, because he loves Ghost Rider, obviously. And this was a PlayStation exclusive. Also, you guys are familiar with this, Odin Sphere, one of the greatest hits. The game did well for them. Creators also of Murimasa and I believe Dragon's Crown. Another like nice little gem that was exclusive. It was from Atlas. It would be nice because Sega now owns Atlas that it would come also to Xbox because they own the property, but they still giving the middle finger like always to the Xbox console. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. It is what it is. So we got Odin Sphere here from Xbox. From the PS2. That's why I didn't buy the new 720 version or 1080p version. Another beautiful classic. This was actually Namco that got in combinations with Sega and created a railgun shooter called Vampire Knights. An amazing game. Here we go. Really off the chain. Really in the same vein as House of the Dead, but with vampires and werewolves. Really underrated. Love this light gun rail shooter, Vampire Knights, from Sega and Namco. And yes, it was Sega and Namco. There's the thing there for those of you like, you don't know what you're talking about. There you go. Take that, dummies. Shadow Man 2. I believe this was exclusive also. I don't think this came out to the OG. It's called The Second Coming. I love Shadow Man 1. I played it on Dreamcast. I played it on the PS2. And I love this cover. This cover is badass. From Acclaim. I picked it up. I didn't ever get to finish it, but I thought it was good. So I put it in my library. And I picked it up on the cheap. I got it for like $5 at the time. One of my favorite Collections, Legends, Title Legends 2, which Title Legends 1 was on the Xbox One original. Title Legends 2 did come out on OG, but only in Europe. Never made its way here. I don't know if it's region free, so I never picked it up. If it was, I would. But it had great games that never came out from the arcade at the time, like Darius Gaiden, Dungeon Magic, Cleopatra's Fortune, and for me, the one that really, really stood out for me was things like over here, like Raw, right here, and things like Rostan 2, who was Nestar, because I was a big Rostan fan. And just for those two games alone, I picked it up. This was $20, and it was well worth it still. And it is in there. For those that think that it's not, it's in there. It's in there. It had Bubble Bobble there. You saw that? And last but certainly not least, from a PlayStation 1 physically, or PlayStation 2 physical copies, is Virtual Fighter 4. I had Evolution, got rid of it. I only have the regular one. I haven't really bothered to buy the other one, even though that was like the complete edition. This was exclusive after Microsoft got their hands on DOA. Sega and Sony made a deal because they wanted an exclusive fighter to combat DOA, so they did DOA 4 exclusives. It's a good game, but it didn't hold a candle next to 3 and 4. Just graphically, that's it. But gameplay, no. Virtual Fighter 4. I do have some other ones that I'm trying to get back, like Bujingai, Chaos Legion, and also Urban Reign. It's a beat 'em up. So that's my PlayStation 2 collection. Now we'll move on to my PlayStation 3 collection. And we'll start with none other than the God of War's original collection, which has Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta, which are the PSP versions that were made with a higher resolution, remastered for the PS3. And I picked that up because I didn't have a PSP. Then I also have, obviously, the originals, God of War 1 and 2, that were also fixed with resolution and better frame rate, I believe, made for PS3, and I have both of them here. Which I still got a finish God of War 2, believe it or not. I never got to finish it. Got to go back to that. And I know you're going to be like, blasphemy! I have also God of War Ascension. Oh, yeah, by the way, those, I'm not a God of War fan. Remember that, people. God of War Ascension, beat that. Beat Chains of Olympus, beat one. I'm trying to beat Sparta now, and I need to beat. What was the other one? I forgot the other one. I'm looking for here. Oh no, I don't have it here. That's right. I changed it. Sorry. Then moving right along, I'm gonna showcase this game later on in the day or in the week or in the night. Is Time Crisis, the Raising Storm collection. It comes with Time Crisis 4, and oddly enough, it's not a Time Crisis game, but it's made with the same engine. It's called Deathstorm Pirates, which I freaking love that game. It's basically a House of the Dead with pirates. Amazing graphics, amazing gameplay, and this is one of my favorite collections also for you guys out there. Now, I forgot to mention this, but this was one game that I had on the Switch, on the Wii, one. Then they made this extended version with obviously more added content and better graphics on PS3. So I chose this version and I rebought it and sold the other one because I wanted the one with the better graphics and the one with more content. As you guys can see here, it's an original, made for home only House of the Dead title called Overkill. It had blood, violence, and cursing. It was made more for adults by Sega. Like I said, a running theme. Either Namco or Sega that combined. Now I have here Alone in the Dark. This game was the first game to start the environments blowing up and breaking while you're moving and having to control it and trying to survive, like a building falling down, catching on fire while furnitures were trying to get you off and throw you off the building. Like the same vein as Uncharted that people swear up and down they were the ones who did it first, with two in or one also in the beginning of the era when they weren't. It was this game right here. And the only reason I bought it was because it was $5, and the Inferno means it had the extra edit content, and they fixed the camera and pulled it out where you can change the camera farther out and have the game play better. But it still wasn't better graphically or performance-wise than the 360 version. Next up, of course, I had to get it. The Sigma version of Ninja Gaiden. I'm a Ninja Gaiden crackhead. I love Ninja Gaiden. I have all of them. I have every version possible, even the Vita version, PS3 versions, and I don't even own the console. I just have them. To get the extra content, no, this is not better than the 360 version. We don't even have to get into that. Also, Part 2, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. Another amazing cover, another amazing game. Not better than the 360 Brethren, but worth the play for the better graphics at the time that they tried to implement with better anti-aliasing and the added content. Ninja Gaiden 2. Next up, another game I have for the Wii that I got rid of was No More Heroes. This is No More Heroes, Heroes in Paradise, which I believe they only made one, or this one has 1 and 2 in it. I'm not sure. Published by Konami. And I changed it obviously because it was the better version with more content. I think this has 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 came out only for the Wii after the fact. But I have No More Heroes. Love that game. Looks awesome. Guy's pretty badass. I have here Dragon's Crown. Dragon's Crown, ladies and gentlemen. Dragon's Crown is an amazing hack and slash beat 'em up with the same art style of Odimasa and Odin Sphere. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, the arcade game. Love the game. It's pretty dope. Never got a chance to finish it or beat it with my boys. It's out on the PS4. I'm kind of contemplating maybe trading this one, selling it, to get that version for the better graphics and to be able to play it easier with my boys, but I don't know. Ninja Theory, one of their second entry game, which was a really good game. Obviously, it felt dated by today's standards, but still did some incredible technical things, camera work, nice animation, a lot of characters on screen, and was one of the first real games by Andy Serkis's house to implement high quality mocap in video games that we've never seen before. So they pretty much started it, which it wasn't Naughty Dog either. As you can see there, a picture of Andy Serkis of the character, and he really did. He really did look like that in the game. Dope little game. I personally think it's a little gem. This game, after they fixed the implementation, took off the 6-axis and added control things, it was a much better game. I love dragons. I love Panzer Dragoon or Panzer Dragoon. It's for not pronouncing it right. Lair. Awesome game. Graphically, had photorealistic graphics at the time. Looked really beautiful. Bad frame rate problems, but the game was still enjoyable. I enjoyed it, especially when I was able to use the controller. Nice exclusive on PlayStation. They never went back to. Should do it maybe a sequel. That'd be dope. See how that goes. Obviously, the Puppeteer. Dope little game. He looks like a puppet, like Pinocchio. It's in 3D, 2D. And it was a lot of fun. Hard as fuck. Another original exclusive for PlayStation 3 from Sony themselves. They published it, as you can see there. Love the little cover too. Very cool cover. And of course, I never played Shadow of the Colossus, but yet still here I have Shadow of the Colossus collection with Ico and Shadows, which I rebought and played it on the PS4. Enjoyed it for what it was because I never really beat it on PS3, the PS3 version. But nonetheless, I still own it. I have both versions, so I can do a comparison on both. Here you go, Shadow of the Colossus. One of Insomniac's dopest platformers, because I don't like Insomniac. Remember, I only like Insomniac all of a sudden because they did, Sunset Overdrive, and now they're going to do Spider-Man. But here you go, Ratchet and Clank. Tales of Destruction. My personal opinion, one of the best games that utilized the PS3 in showing what it could do. Technically, do with the right time, the right manpower, the right money, and the right talented developers. Awesome game, a lot of fun. Probably number 12, 9 in the series, because they don't milk series, ladies and gentlemen. Then I bought this one because I like this one too. This was Ratchet and Clank All for One because it was 4 players and I was able to play with my boys. And I like Ratchet. I'm still missing like 3 more that I want to get on PS3. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But I have that one too. Then I have here Killzone, the trilogy. This comes with 1, 2, and 3. You know, it's an okay franchise. I also have Shadow, the new one, Shadow Kills or whatever it's called. I'll show it to you when I get to it. I have Kills in the trilogy. My opinion, they're okay. They're not great, but they're. I bought them for a really decent price in the collection, so I figured why not. It's an exclusive, and it's worth at least playing by Guerrilla Games, where they didn't have a hit until just now. By the way, and they weren't owned by Sony until 2007. Little fun fact. Then I said, yes, you see here, I did pick up Genji 2. Beautiful cover. Days of the Blade. Never got to really play it and finish it. Had a lot better graphics at the time. You know, in some ways, maybe character-wise, I just like the environment and the sense of scale in the first one a little bit better. I think it would have better production value and more time in this one. But Genji, I still own it because I enjoyed the first one as well. The only Gran Turismo I bought because it looked to be the best one that they made after they tried to pull off that scumbag move with the prologue and other games is Gran Turismo 6, the real driving simulator. It's decent. It's not bad. You know, it's just hard to go back to these series once you got adapted to the Forza series because the Forza series just really took things to another level and you can't really go back after you played them. It's really hard. Even the new one I couldn't enjoy. I got it and took it back. Then I have Resistance, the series, another Insomniac game. I believe it's Insomniac, right? Yeah, Insomniac. I forgot. Fall of Man, which was a launch title and was part of the greatest hits. You guys remember that cover? Then I have Resistance 2, which was probably the best one out of all of them. And then Resistance 3, which was okay. It was different. They've been on record saying that they really didn't like doing these series because they had to get out of their element and didn't really want to do photorealistic stuff or things like that. They wanted to do more stylized stuff. So Resistance 3. And this supported the 3D, as we all know it. Now what I'll do is I'll go to, as you guys can see here, this is House of the Dead 4 on the PlayStation 3. And yes, I'm holding a PS3 controller. And yes, the PS3 is on. There it is right there. You can hear that thing as loud as can be. Light and all. So, and that's my Voltron. Sorry, people. Kind of sharing the room with my wifey. With her, she does laundry here as well. So, here we go. I'll put quit. Yes. Just to show you my digital games, because obviously I have digital games on PS3. Let me turn off this flashlight for a few. It takes a little bit to load up. So, I go into my folder, it says unknown, press on it, and this is what I have digitally. I have House of the Dead 3, which I bought, which I also own on OG Xbox, but I bought it to get, you know, what you call it, to get the trophies. Plus, I love the game. It ran a little bit better than the one on. I got Akari Warriors 3, part of the minis, which is the arcade. The game Rain with the little boy, which is pretty dope. Beat it. I have Maximo 2, Ghost to Glory, which is a PS2 game. When they try to bring Ghouls and Ghosts into the 3D realm. I have Kick-Ass the game, which 2 also came out, but it was only in Europe. Beat 'em up, top down. I have Mega Man X5, Mega Man X4, which is the PS two versions. I never got my hands on the Saturn version because we couldn't play them anywhere else. But I have them, so I'm looking forward to playing the new collection. Then I also have Strider to the arcade. That also comes with Strider 1, the arcade, which I also own on PS1 or for PS2, or PS1 rather, and physical. Then I have Papi or Papo y Joe. Awesome little game. Kind of remind me of Majin, the Forsaken Kingdom. Majin and Me, or whatever it's called. I have Oddworld Stranger's Wrath in HD, which I also own the one on the Xbox OG, which that never came out. I don't understand why. I have Killzone. That's the install. Monch Odyssey. That's the trial version. These games also were on the Wii. It was a double pack or it was single pack, I think, carded. Nonetheless, I had them on the Wii and I retraded them to get the better version, which is Code Veronica, or Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles, which is Railgun, like House of the Dead. In those worlds and the stories connect also. And Resident Evil, The Umbrella Chronicles. Then I have, as you guys saw, House of the Dead 4. This is still exclusive to the PS3. Never came out anywhere else. I have Bounce Adventures for TurboGrafx. Prehistoric Isle 1 from the mini arcades. POW. Blade Kitten, which I also own on 360. Trine 1, because it never came out anywhere else except the Wii. So I had the better version. Never came to Xbox, even though Trine 2 is there, and Trine 3 never came out either. Akari Warriors 1. Dead Nations, which I did not buy again, because it was a better version, I guess, with better resolution for PS4. Already had finished it. Moon Divers, which I also own on Xbox 360 and PS3, as you guys can see here. Earthworm Jim HD, which I also own on 360. Dino Crisis 2, which I also... No, I never owned on Dreamcast. I had it for Dreamcast 1 and never owned it. And then I have Dead Space Extraction, which is another Dead Space game exclusive, but it plays kind of like on rails, kind of like House of the Dead. This was on Wii U, or the Wii rather. I also got rid of it to get the better version of it on PS3, because obviously I wanted the better version. So that's the PS3 collection. Here's the controller. Now we're going to move over to my PS4 collection. As you see here, I have Alienation on, running. There's my PS4. I got the Pro in white. Here's the controller. In case you guys, no, you don't have anything. He's a goddamn liar. You're a fraud. You're a fraud, Ebot. Okay, let me be a fraud. As you can see, I have the Wii U right there too. It's it's full of consoles. So we'll start off with Bloodborne. I'll be honest, I don't care for the series. I really just bought it because my son's a fan of the Dark Souls. I tried it out. It's all right. Like, I love the premise. I don't like the gameplay. Hate it. Hate the tedious back and forth roll, kind of dying until you level up to get it. I have the Nathan Drake collections. Lost Legacy. No, I don't have those games, dude. Are you crazy? I don't buy those PlayStation games. The Order. Now, the reason why some of my games won't come up in my trophies, for those of you who follow me on PlayStation, since I played these games on my son's account and on my other friend's account. When I didn't have it, I got rid of it, and I played it on their account in order to play it, because I couldn't get my information, like my password, from my existing, it's called a gamer tag, and I had forgotten, so I couldn't recover it and got it. I couldn't go back and, start from my stuff. So I never played it on those. I played it on other accounts. Ratchet and Clank, the remaster of the first one, which is an amazing game, like Ratchet and Clank. Love that platform. The Last Guardian. Beautiful, from the creators of Ico and Shadows of Colossus. Uncharted 4! Oh my god! A 10 out of 4! A 10 out of 10. Look, the greatest game of all time. The fuck out of here. Good game. Overrated, in my opinion. Gunplay doesn't hold a candle next to Tomb Raider. But nonetheless, from the, Drake adventures, very entertaining. Looks nice. I love that Bob Ross painted canvas with nothing going on in Madagascar with no animals. Just a flock of birds sometimes. Here we go. Killzone Shadow Falls. Another dope game that has like nice graphics, and then when you play it, the game gets boring and loses substance. Until Dawn. And the only reason why I got this is because I'm a horror fan. And this game, since it plays like the Telltale games and other games, it's more of a point and click. It's more like a movie. It just appealed to me because it's like a horror movie. And that's the only reason. And I really haven't finished it. My son did. But because I get bored of them. But there it is. Until Dawn. I don't own exclusives. Oh, they're exclusives. I'm a fraud. I have Infamous Second Son Limited Edition. I really don't know what the limited is, and it's from Sucker Punch. The gentleman's doing the upcoming Ghost of Tsushima, which everything looked land and vast, but nothing was going on with 3 NPCs on screen, and people were going crazy. Here we go. Last of Us Remastered, which I had on PS3, but I said, you know what? Let me just get the remaster because it has a 60 frame mode, and I'm a sucker for better frame rate, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Another game I feel super overrated. I think it's just very popular because a lot of girls like it because of the inclusion of of the girl being gay and things like that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just seen that in other games first, like I Am Alive and Amy, so it really didn't impress me. It wasn't original, so I played it for what it was. Here we go. Horizon Zero Dawn. And I bought this game, ladies and gentlemen, for those who say that I was lying, for, there you go, $20, 21 with tax. You're like, no, you didn't. That game is still $75. Dude, it's only 65 original players. What are you talking about? Well, you get the picture. I'm just exaggerating. Just having some fun, people. Just having some fun. Don't get triggered. So I got Horizon Zero Dawn. Haven't beat it because it bored me also. Got bored. Shadows of Colossus, beat that. There you go. Awesome remaster. Definitely not a 94 out of 94 when Ultimate went from a 94 Metacritic to a 80 something, 82. Yeah, okay. Hello. Bugsy and the Woolly Strikes Back. Perfect edition. I had to pre-order this. I felt I paid way too much, but I did it for the nostalgia because I used to like Bugsy, even though a lot of people didn't like the platformer. $40 came with a soundtrack and some other cool little things, but at least I own it, and I know that it's something nostalgic from back in the day when I grew up in the 16-bit era. Aero Street Fighter. I got this on the very cheap as well. I think I paid like $10 for this motherfucker. Let me see. I only bought it because... No, that's not it. Never mind. I paid like $10, I think it was, or 15. Got a good deal, and now it's when it's worth playing. Another exclusive that doesn't say exclusive, that shouldn't be there. Done by Tecmo Kyo. Berserk. But yet it's exclusive there. I don't know why. And the Band of the Hawks, based off the anime, manga, and the continuation, I believe, to the Dreamcast game too. But the game is like Dynasty Warriors, doesn't really play that well, so it's alright. It's alright. It has good graphics. I like the style, but I don't even want to talk about it. Neo from another team, Team Ninja, which they just announced Neo 2. No exclusive, only on PlayStation, which it should say like Street Fighter right there. You see it? Oh, PlayStation console exclusive. It doesn't, but yet it's on an Xbox. What the fuck? And they only published it here when they got the popularity and feedback from the demo because of the big hoopla with Bloodborne as well, because they didn't publish it in Japan and they didn't publish it for PC. So whoever wants to argue, stop that. Now, God of War Remaster. This wasn't really a real remaster. It was just better performance on what was already there. And they even took out the real 16 by 9 aspect ratio, which you have to adjust on the console because it doesn't really have it natively. But here it is, God of War. Because I'm not a God of War fan, God dog it. Knack one. I bought this really on the cheap for my daughter, only on PlayStation, from Mark Cerny. It's a platformer. It's okay. It's not that bad. It's all right. But I have to finish it because it wasn't that exciting either. Knack, I have to get two, but I'm gonna wait until it's on the cheap because I don't feel it's worth $60 or $40 for that matter. And I have Blaze Blue X Signs, beautiful game by System Artworks, which should not be exclusive either because they brought out a bunch of other things like Blaze Blue and other stuff like Arslan on the Xbox One, and yet this never came out. And this is like the second version, Round X. They have like two more versions, which are basically more characters, more content, and their director's cut. So we're gonna grab the controller for the PS Quattro. See, PS Quattro, PS Quattro, and we're gonna do this. We're going to focus. So I'll show you my digital games. And big shout outs to my brother from another console, J Long 908. Because J Long has graciously enough bought games and let me share with him on PlayStation when I couldn't afford all of them. So here we're gonna go over here real quick. Love my Hellblade custom background. Any other games I have Alien Nation, and you'll notice that it doesn't have a disc on the corner there. So if it doesn't have a disc, that means it's only digital. I have Double Dragon Arcade 2, which again, they took out Double Dragon 1 out of Xbox Live, never brought it backwards compat, and yet they put it on PS2, on Switch, and now Double Dragon 2 Arcade, which was never released in console, only exists on PS4. Why? Please tell me. Tell me. I think Arc System Works owns the property too, along with Renegade, and they didn't bring it out. I don't understand that logic. I really don't get it. Here we go, Renegade Arcade. Austy Breed. These are just the installs. Berserk, Bloodborne. I have Double Dragon 4. Gauntlet. Boy, which also shouldn't be their exclusive. And it is. Never came out to Xbox. It's just there. It's a new version of Gauntlet that came out on PC as well. God of War, people, look. I own God of War digitally. Look, as you can see there, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you can see there that little disc right there that shows that it's a disc. God of War is digitally, thanks to J-Long, my main man. God of War 3, that's just the installs. Oh, I like this game a lot. And in Dragon's Legend, it's a 2D side scroller that reminds me a lot like Genji. I love that Militant. It's a military game, 2D side-scrolling shooter with ants, kind of in the same vein as the movie Ants. Metal Slug Anthology, which I had on the Wii. Also, it has all the Metal Slugs that be selling separate on all the platforms, all in one, including the Double X. And I got rid of it to get this version because obviously it's the better version, even though it's the PS2 version, but running on the PS4. Psychonauts, Jay bought that, so I have it thanks to him. Shantae 1, which was only on the DS. I bought it to have it here. Shadows of the Beast, probably one of my favorite indies, exclusive on PlayStation, but they published that. The classic Star Wars 1, which I had also on the Wii, digitally. And I have 2 and 3. Wish they would have brought the other two, so I don't have to worry about playing it on the Wii. The Warriors, which, boy, another retarded thing. This was on Xbox OG, which I still own, and yet they made that version that you can buy on PS4 but you can't play backwards compat via backwards compat on Xbox. Okay. Trojan, a nice little indie game as well. Another one, Trying 3. No, Sony had no doing with that. Yet they put the 9 Parchment, which just came out, and Trying 3 is still exclusive there. Not on Xbox. Retarded. Another boy, Sega. What is wrong with it? Well, that wasn't Sega, but it's based off a Sega property. The original Wonder Boy, completely remastered, which you could only play on it on PlayStation's exclusive to there. So I bought it because it's exclusive, and that's what gamers do. And then Yakuza Kiwami, which I believe is the very first one remastered, which my friend JLo908 bought, and I'm so graciously now have the privilege to play, which I hope it comes to Xbox One. But now I'm going to start from that one because all of them are available, I believe, on PS4. So yes, people, that is okay, and that will conclude my video. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed it. And yes, just to prove that I do have it, that it is the full game, I will press start. God of War. I do have the game. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it. Had as much fun watching as I did doing it. Because it's all about games, people. It's gaming. And that's what connects us and makes us unique as a hobby, right? Because it is a unique hobby. And it's great that it has grown. Hopefully for the better. In a lot of cases for the worse. But you guys have been great. Bye to everyone. I love you guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like and choose to, and you like what I do. Share it, because it would mean a lot to me if you do, because I would love to have more people come and see what I do and enjoy my content that I do from the heart. And, leave comments, but leave good comments. Comments that are respectful, that add to what I did, or that if you're going to counter argue something, that is also with some logic and sense, that you're bringing some actual facts to the table to make it a good conversation. Not an argument about Xbox got no games, fuck Xbox, or you're a fucking fag, or you're a fat, not the mama, or whatever. Ebot, you're a fraud. Those are stupid waste of my time. Because I'm just going to look at it, I'm going to laugh, and I'm going to block you. I don't got time for that. This is gaming, people. This is gaming. So, hopefully, you guys enjoy. I will be highlighting. Two games. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it tonight, and you guys will catch the videos to try to do some retro playing stuff. For those of you who may not have seen them, because I think they're fun, and I want to add different stuff to my channel. And yes, I did buy Crash on Xbox One, baby. You know why? Hate it 4K, and because I wanted to support it on a console that I know it's the first time it was available on. I know that got you triggered, guys, so I'm sorry. Love you. Keep it gaming. Until the next one, guys. Bye. Peace. Love you guys.